introduction, I just wanted a more intuitive example. So I took this example for a negative correlation, or actually we will be seeing correlation just after covariance, but both are very related. Right? So for a negative covariance, you can take the example of a speed of a train and the time to reach the destination. So as the speed of the train increases, the time taken to destination will reduce. Right? So this is the time taken to destination. So when the speed is low, so you can have something of this sort. Okay, so this shows a trend of negative covariance or a negative correlation. So negative covariance is not the term that we regularly use. We use the term correlation, that I will show you what happens. Right? So for example, when I know that the speed is here, right? Let us see the speed is here. So what is the time taken to reach the destination will be this particular thing. So you can see why we are calling it a statistical relation also. A statistical relation because the time to reach the destination basically varies from this point to this particular point, right? This is the total time that is taken to reach the destination. But when I say you to choose a specific point, let's say X, right? Then because they are related, right? The covariance is negatively related, but you can see the time that it takes, basically the guesswork. My guesswork is now only within this particular boundary. So when something is related, right, and it helps you to reduce the guesswork of the overall value, basically then we can say that both the variables have some statistical relation. Once again, so if no information is given, then you will say, okay, max time is this and minimum time is this. But when I say, okay, this is a particular weight y, let me choose the green pen. When I say, okay, the speed of a train is y, what is the approximate time that I will take to reach the destination? Then you will say, okay, this is the lowest speed for y and this one. So basically, my time boundary is now reduced to these particular values. So you can see, comparing to the max and the min value, this value has having a very small boundary, right? So this shows that the speed and the time to reach the destination are highly related, right? Now let us take an example of basically no covariance or no correlation. So let us take this, right? So this is the height of a student and this is the CGPA of the student, right? So as you know, there is no relation between the height and the CGPA. So this graph will look something of this sort. Right? So this shows that, for example, so we can say this as the 10 CGPA and this as a 4 CGPA. Fine. So now you can see, so let us say, if I say, okay, given a CGPA of 7, right? So CGPA of 7 will be this. What is the height? What is the range of the height for those students? So the maximum height is this, the minimum height is this. If I say given a CGPA of 8, what is the height of the height range? The height range still is the same. So basically there is no statistical relation between these two parameters. So as a result, what we say is that these values are not statistically related. This is positively related, this is negatively related, and now why do we say this is positively related and this is negatively related? So for that we just have an intuition for the same graph. Okay, let me redraw this. So in the last lecture we saw the z scores, right? So in the z scores we know that we subtract every value from the mean. So you understand that the mean of a z score distribution is 0, right? So what happens? Let us take our curve like this. Let me me take the four quadrants, and as you know, when we have something of a positive relation or a correlation, we will have these kind of graph, like or on this particular axis. And now once we know that basically for the z scores the mean is 0, right? So if you can see for this particular LX, this is somehow the center of it, and as we know this is positively correlated. So now you can see that maximum number of points will basically occupy, if I take this as a virtual quadrant, right, just for referring, because 0 is the mean, you can see there are maximum points which are in the first quadrant and maximum points which are in the third quadrant, right? And now you see this particular factor, we are having x minus x bar and y minus y bar, the multiplication of these both. So when you have majority of points in the first quadrant and majority of points in the third quadrant, these are multiplication of both the negative values, and this is the multiplication of both positive values. So this will contribute more towards the positivity, right, showing a positive relation. Similarly, if I take this particular graph, right, since it's a z-score, the mean will be centered around 0. This is a negative correlation, right? And now you can see here why it is negative, because when you check this particular factor, the multiplication, this region and this region have the maximum values, so they have a more impact on this. So in this, one value is negative, one is positive. Here one is negative and one is positive. So basically this contribution of the negatives is more in this particular case, right? So this is basically the intuition behind how to see that one thing is a positively correlated or a negatively correlated. Similarly, if you want to see one more thing, so for example, if there is no correlation, so the graph will look something like this. So basically all the four quadrants provide you with kind of an equal contribution, right, towards the statistical relation or correlation. So eventually basically all the parts will be adding up together and will be roughly around 0 or very near to 0, right, showing that there is no relation. So that's it for this class. We will have a small lecture next on the correlation coefficient. How that you will see that why does covariance is not a significant indicator, does not help always. So we standardize this to a correlation coefficient.